Good afternoon to our lecturers, Azari. We are Group 9 and today we will be presenting about the role of music in neuroplasticity and brain development.
My name is Barbara and I will give a brief introduction about our case study. So the title of our study is the role of music in neuroplasticity and brain development. Basically, music has been a part of our daily life since we listen to music all the time no matter when and where we are. For example, people listen to music when studying, jogging, cooking, or even cleaning. So music can help people focus and boost motivation and improve mood. Besides that, it has been proved that music also has impacts on neuroplasticity and brain development. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize its structure and function in response to extrinsic and intrinsic stimuli. So our study goals are to explore how music affects brain plasticity, and we aim to understand its potential benefits such as using music therapy to improve cognitive functions as we age.
Today, I'll be presenting about the longitudinal studies on music and brain development. Neuroplastic changes in the central nervous system encompass reorganization at both cortical and subcortical levels. According to studies by Strategies and Thought, significant structural differences exist between the brains of musicians and also non-musicians. Musical performances and experiences induce anatomical alteration in cortical region, crucial for sensory motor function and also auditory perception. Furthermore, musical training impacts wide mental pathway, including the corpus callosum. Strategy and Thought also highlight an increase in gray matter density, specifically in the left anterior hippocampus among musicians. These findings underscore the profound effects of musical engagement on brain structure and function. Other than that, musicians with intensive training exemplify brain plasticity. As noted by Slush, musical performance requires the integration of multisensory and motor functions, demonstrating its complex demands on the brain. Strategy and Thought highlight music's hedonistic qualities, which strengthen its neurological impacts. Neuroimaging studies by Slush reveals that music heavily relies on the integration of perception and also action. Violinists, as an example, engage in intricate tasks such as interpreting musical notation and adapting to auditory cues, showcasing the cognitive and sensory motor skills involved in the musical proficiency. Apart from that, performing music involves the brain in complex sensory tasks where movements are mapped to auditory outcomes. Musical instruments not only follow rules of harmony and aesthetics, but also provide immediate satisfaction to the performer. Music requires intricate interactions between motor outcome and various sensory inputs such as tactile, proprioceptive, auditory, and also visual cues. Beyond sensory motor skills, music engages higher order cognitive processes including memory, attention, emotional processing, and also the comprehension of musical structure. Olszewska et al. Suggests that music's inherently rewarding nature enhances both learning capabilities, and also brain plasticity, highlighting its profound impact on cognitive development and also neural adaptability. Lastly, engaging in musical practices has been shown to enhance brain health and also cognitive function in older individuals. According to Chadok Hammond et al., musical training positively impacts cognitive function across sensory, motor, and cognitive domains. Music has been found to aid seniors in enhancing executive function, attention, inhibition, memory, cognitive flexibility, spatial ability, and also processing speed. Participating in musical activities allows seniors to maintain or even improve their cognitive tasks associated with executive function and memory. These cognitive benefits are reinforced by observable increases in gray and white matter volume, which highlight the neuroplastic effect of musical engagement on aging brains.
For the structural brain changes, music significantly impacts brain structure, a phenomenon well supported by neuroimaging studies. Engaging in musical activities, particularly learning and playing instruments, leads to a notable increase in the gray matter volume in several brain areas, including the auditory cortex, which is for sound processing, motor cortex, which is for movement control, and cerebellum, which is for movement coordination. For example, a study done by Gesser and Schlott in 2003 found that professional musicians have significantly more gray matter in these regions compared to non-musicians. This highlights the transformative effects of musical training has on our brain architecture. Additionally, musicians tend to have a larger corpus callosum, which improves inter-hemispheric communication and integration of cognitive functions. These changes underscore the brain's plasticity, showing how regular music engagement can result in beneficial structural modifications that enhance our sensory, motor, and cognitive abilities. Moving on, I will talk about functional brain changes. Due to the fact that by engaging in musical practices such as playing an instrument or singing requires the coordination of multiple brain regions, it enhances their functional connectivity. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, also known as fMRI, studies have shown that musicians display better connectivity between the auditory cortex, motor cortex, and areas that are responsible for emotional regulation and executive functions. This increased connectivity leads to more effective information processing and greater neural integration. Musical training promotes brain plasticity by forming new neural pathways and strengthening existing ones, particularly in regions associated with auditory processing, motor control, and memory. These functional changes enhance cognitive abilities, including improved memory, attention, and problem-solving skills, as well as fostering emotional resilience and empathy. Therefore, music not only alters brain structure but also enhances brain function, resulting in a more adaptable and efficient neural system. I will now talk about the insula. The insula is a crucial and complex part of the brain, located deep within and symmetrically on both sides, hidden beneath the back of the frontal lobe and the front of the temporal lobe. Engaging with music, whether passively through listening or actively by playing an instrument, activates our insula. This activation is vital because the insula integrates emotional and sensory inputs, which is essential for musical perception and production. According to 2018, this activation enhances neuroplasticity by strengthening functional connections within the salience network, including the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and temporal parietal junction. Music instruction specifically improves connections between the left insula and the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, left temporal parietal junction, and right temporal parietal junction. Next, the insula also plays a significant role in emotional regulation and interoception, which is the perception of the body's internal states. It processes internal cues like heart rate and breathing patterns, converting them into emotional feelings. The anterior insula is especially important for recognizing bodily conditions and controlling emotions. By integrating interoceptive information with emotional and cognitive functions, the insula helps us to understand and manage their internal states, promoting adaptive responses and emotional balance. Its connections with the prefrontal cortex and amygdala allow it to regulate emotional reactions and maintain emotional stability. Next is this integrative function of the insula is crucial for understanding how internal bodily states influence our emotional experience and decision-making processes, enhancing overall emotional well-being and self-regulation. The insula multifaceted role underscores its importance in the neural adaptations facilitated by music. This highlights its significance in brain plasticity and development.
Next, I will explain about the effectiveness of music in developing brain. The study found differences in brain structure development between non-musician and musician, despite the fact that the individual were amateur musician. Musicians have increased metal volume in the frontal lobe, namely in areas involved to executive processes such as retaining, monitoring, and retrieving musical information, as well as processing musical structure. Musicians have increased meter volume in the lingua gyrus, which improves score reading and visual spatial abilities. Direct touch with instruments may increase cortical thickness in the primary somatosensory cortex, leading to improved cognitive function and ability to read notes on instruments. Other than that, the development of parahippocampal cortex. Musical instruction in an older person increase the volume of both left and right parahippocampal cortex. This could be interpreted in relation to the parahippocampal cortex, memory, and emotional activities. Musicians have distinct information processing and retrieval abilities compared to non-musicians due to the need for memorizing and recalling composition during concerts and rehearsal. The parahippocampus connects the default mode cortical network to the medial temporal lobe memory system. The opera theory proposes that executive functions such as exhibition, attention, and flexibility correlate with musical skill. The hypothesis also suggests that speech processing network benefit from adaptive plasticity, which occurs when five conditions overlap: possession, emotion, repetition, and also attention. Lastly, development in the white matter. The connection of white matter with emotional processing and sensory processing brain region. Musicians have greater insular conductivity with affective processing, silent detection, and higher order cognition. Barcelona Music Reward Questionnaire studied the connection of white matter in orbitofrontal cortex and right hemisphere auditory region and used as a study instrument in psychological investigation, examining reward in healthy people, hearing impaired people, and people suffering from various diseases or disorder. This questionnaire is divided into five categories based on exploratory and confirmatory analysis such as musical seeking, emotion, evocation, mood regulation, social reward, and sensory matter.
In conclusion, this study highlights how music can cause changes in the brain, especially in brain-native areas like auditory cortex, motor cortex, and cerebellum. Making music at a young age shows significant advantages in sensory perception, motor skills, and cognitive abilities. For example, musician brains show unique structure where they have stronger connection in areas like emotional regulation, cognitive control, and sensory processing. These changes can be seen in both professional and amateur musicians. Next, the role of Mizuna in combining emotional and sensory input highlights the advantages of music supporting emotional strength and cognitive development. In conclusion, the relationship between music and neuroplasticity provide valuable insight across various aspects of human life.
That's all from us. Thank you.